And this is what The Last of Us has taught me. Is like, I would turn into the worst version of myself if anything ever happened to my son. There would be no stopping me. There's just something about it being your own kid. You would do anything to protect it. That's why when somebody asks, do you think Joel did the right thing? I'm like, absolutely. As a father, absolutely. If you ask me as a citizen of humanity, he's the villain. He's the worst person to ever happen in the history of humanity. But as a father, I'm like, yep, that's the kind of father I hope I can be.
Coming to you from Crunchyroll HQ, this is The Anime Effect. Each week we bring you interviews with amazing people from across the world of anime, from directors to actors, artists, and more, to discuss their work and their anime favorites. It's pop culture with an anime lens.
And today is one of those great days, you guys.
We got a real hooper today, y'all. We got a hooper.
I am a huge fan. This is incredible to be even happening. Like, this is one of those what is my life moments. Right. Because we could not be happier to welcome Troy Baker to the Anime Effect. Yes, that Troy Baker.
I didn't do this.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Right on. Yeah.
Dang.
It's giving Labyrinth.
Well, I was going to say, it's very, it's like Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
You know his name, you know his face. You can never escape his incredible voice because he's in at least one, likely several of your favorite video games. I know that's true for me. Literally, the next line. If you're like me, you know him from Naughty Dog's The Last of Us Parts 1 and 2, as well as the HBO adaptation. He's in Death Stranding, Uncharted 4. The list goes on and on and on. He has been in your favorite piece of media, pretty much.
You turn around,
if you're our people, if you're our people, you have interacted with the Troy Baker in some way or another. Welcome to the podcast, Troy. We are so happy to have you.
Thank you guys for having me. I also want to announce we have begun shooting The List Goes On 2, which we're very excited about.
I was hoping they made that sequel. Yeah.
I know. I didn't think I was going to be in it, obviously, because what happens to my character. That's what happens to me in everything that I do.
Well, given that it's an anthology series, I think you can always play some
right. Going with the bit. Yes.
I know, right? Pretty soon your IMDb page is going to be like number 2. I don't know. Like,
will there be The List Goes On 3?
We're highly anticipating.
We just need to call up Neil Druckmann and ask.
Right. Yeah. There you go.
If they have a story for me, I'm happy to play.
Oh, right. yes.
No more jokes, I promise. No more jokes.
We welcome them.
Honestly,
we welcome all the jokes.
Okay, so we've got a question that we like to ask all of our guests here on the Anime Effect, and that is, what is your gateway anime or gateway animation? So what got you kind of interested into...
Oh, dude. Those are two totally separate questions.
All right, we'll go with anime. We'll go with anime.
Because I was a weird kid. I grew up in the 80s. And so we actually had Saturday morning cartoons.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a non sequitur now. That's a thing of the past.
Just does not exist now. Yeah.
We have Saturday morning iPad.
Well, yeah, but it was even before then, all of a sudden, which I love this, Cartoon Network popped up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start having 24-hour cartoons.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
For me, there was Saturday morning cartoons. There was the 2 hours after school where you got some cartoons, and then that's it. And then it was, boring TV.
Right.
Unless if anybody lived in Texas in the 80s, there was this magical place called Crystal's Pizza. Crystal's Palace. Crystal Palace? Crystals. Maybe just that. Google it. It's amazing. There were 2 locations. There was one in Fort Worth, and then there was one in Dallas. Sorry, Fort Worth.
I mean, that's right.
That is accurate. Yeah.
This was the most opulent. This is clearly where rich people went, and it was designed to be something out of the 20s or 30s. It was beautiful chandeliers, and it was these amazing parquet floors, and they had this grand hall that would have a live pianist play, and these beautiful booths that were oak, and it was all you can eat pizza. With this build your own Sunday, you came and you did all the toppings with these big brass things. So it was designed to be this. And there was a living room that had 2 fireplaces and real books. And that's where your parents ate. And then the rest of the place was for us because we had an arcade, and then there was a movie theater that you could go and eat your pizza in, and all they played was like Flintstones and Jetsons.
Bro, that sounds so
and
cool.
all the old, the early Warner Brothers stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, like this or Hanna-Barbera. So for me, I got to watch, there was about a maximum of like 10 hours, and I used up every penny or every minute I could watching those cartoons, unless it would happen to be a special occasion where we got to go to Crystal's Pizza. But for me, like I grew up watching those kind of cartoons. Like, I mean, very anachronistic for me as a kid of the 80s, but like Jetsons and Flintstones and Hanna-Barbera classics and stuff, then leading up to, of course, Bugs Bunny and all the Disney stuff. But for me, I remember coming home after school, I would have been probably in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and there was this new show that was starting, and it was about this kid named Rick Hunter, and he had an older brother, and they were in this like special elite force called Robotech. And so Robotech was my gateway in. And then I was like, there was no anime. This was just, it was Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Robotech. That was the list that it came to. And so I grew up, and I mean, Min-Mei was my first crush. Like I was like, oh man. So there's like all of these. I didn't realize that there was a whole culture that was associated with this, and it certainly wasn't cool. Like that's not what you were watching. The cool kids were watching whatever was on cable. The cool kids were watching like Kids Incorporated, or you can't do that on television.
Right.
I had your basic whatever was coming across the rabbit ears TV, and that fortunately gave me G1 Transformers, the original G.I. Joe, and Robotech.
LeAlec has been activated.
Incredible. Incredible.
That was a great like first question answer too, but
Oh my God.
Pete,
Yeah.
10
That
out of
was
10.
yeah.
We were
I'm
transported.
judging my own answers.
Well, we do actually have fact checkers.
We're
Yeah,
off
we
to
did
a great
fact check.
start.
No, we don't. We super don't.
We
do not have
super
the
duper
budget for
don't.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did some sleuthing on this
boy.
deep
You
website.
can't do
called-
that in 5 states, by the way. That's illegal. Yeah.
Sleuthing prohibited.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did some deep sleuthing. It's definitely legal in Texas. Deep
Everything's
sleuthing,
legal in Texas.
on a deep website called wikipedia.org, where we learned a little bit about your early acting career. Specifically in anime, starting right here in Dallas, or
Indeed.
the North Texas area, in anime, including characters like Shunjun in Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yeah.
the original Full Metal Alchemist,
True.
characters in Naruto, Crayon Shinchan dub.
You're actually, believe it or not, those are not as deep cut as you could go.
Okay.
Here's the funny story. In Dallas, I was in the music scene, and that was the way that I was going to, cut my path, and that was the way I was going to make my mark. And it was a pretty tight-knit community, and a friend of mine started, saying, hey, you got a cool voice. Why don't you do this? And so I started finding these opportunities to use my voice as outside of a singer in like doing a lot of car commercials, especially. And that started because we were doing our album at this studio. Down the hall, they did car commercials, and I just happened to be at the right place at the right time. The person who had been doing their spots for the last 20 years had a heart attack and died. I just happened to show up and slipped right in. It's kind of like being in New York, and the way you find that apartment is because somebody died.
It sounds like you made a deal with like a crossroads demon.
Yeah, it's kind of like you look through the obituaries for your real estate. Terrible. So here I am. I'm walking into a gig for some car spot, and this like really cool, like he's got like these rectangle glasses, and he's like got a lot of energy. He's got a little soul patch. He's got this deep, boomy voice. And he goes, hey, yeah, hey. I've heard about you, man. You're really good. Hey, have you ever heard of a company called Funimation? I'm like, No, he was like, yeah, cool. Hey, we do anime, and I think you'd be really good at that. Would you want to do that? I was like, yeah, my name's Troy Baker. I'm Chris Sabat.
Yeah.
The clearest
They
Chris
knew
Sabat
who you were
impression
talking
I've
about
ever
before you name
heard
dropped.
in my life.
Immediately.
Oh no, you'd love it. Hey, have I shown you this thing? It's the coolest. It's awesome. Anyway, hey, cool. I love Chris Sabat is one of my favorite people on the planet, and I love him dearly. I would take a bullet for him. But before all of that, he was just some guy that was offering me a job. So I said, yeah, man, that would be great. He calls me and he goes, hey, I've got this role. I think you'd be great. You're the bad guy. You set up the whole thing. It's going to be awesome. And all I knew was that TV shows paid a lot. So I'm like, I'm the main bad guy. Let's go. Didn't think about the Dr. Claw kind of cliche thing where Dr. Claw is in that show the least, right? So I'm living in Plano, Texas, off the tollway.
Represent.
And you know roundabouts. Legacy and the tollway was where I was, which was farmland when I was out there. And then where Funimation is not there at all. At all. They're so far away. So Sabat goes, why don't you come? I was like, I can only go later in the evening. And he was like, do you mind driving? I'm like, I can't really drive right now because somebody had a suspended driver's license. So don't worry. I was working on my rock star image. So Sabat goes, I'll pick you up. Where do you live? I'm like, on the other side of the planet. Here's the difference between people in Texas and people in LA. If I had said, hey, I live 15 minutes from where you are, like, man, this could have been really cool. It's never going to happen now. Yeah. If you're not on the West Side, and if you're in the Valley or vice versa, that's a done relationship. You can just burn the person's contact.
Yeah, it's over.
In Texas, Chris Sabat, being the amazing person that he was like, I'll pick you up. So he picks me up and we drive. I go to the session. I walk in. I say, sweet dreams, detective. And you never see me again. That's it. That's it. That's all that I did. My name was Jin. And I was gone in like a reaction and one line, and that's it. To this day, people will still come up to me and like they have to print it off the internet because they can't find anything of it. And they're like, hey, what about this one? I'm like, clever. You're clever.
You got it.
They Nardwar that one.
Yeah. But also, like, that's funny that Sabat picked you up because, like, I think if you're from Texas or if you've lived here for a long time, you automatically know once you leave your door, you're like 20 to 30 minutes from anywhere. So if Sabat was like, yeah, I'll just pick you up. And as soon as you were like, yeah, I live on the other side of Plano, he was like, small potatoes.
Sabat jump scared me my first week at Funimation at my desk. He jump scared me my first week at Funimation.
What do you mean? Like,
Like he worked with Lauren to just scare the out of me at my desk.
That sounds like,
and I'd never met him before.
Sounds like Sabat behavior.
Sweet joy he brings into your life.
Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
That's all that he wants to do is bring joy. Sabat has been, you mentioned the word gateway. Sabat has been the gateway for more people. It's almost as if that was a cult and he was like the people that were recruiting, like the Scientologist that was just bringing in people. You want to take a personality test? It's real weird. But I really do owe a lot of my career to Sabat. When I first moved out to LA and I was just getting my, the ground beneath my feet, like Sabat, matter of fact, this guy right here, this microphone right here, Sabat gave me, and I still have it to this day. I was like, hey, I don't have a good microphone. I was recording off of a really bad like Guitar Center mic. And he goes, here. And he gave me this microphone. He bought me my first, the early, Y2K folks will remember this. He bought me an M-Box.
Oh my God, dude.
And he just, he's always believed in me and he's always supported me. And he's, if you ever have the wonderful opportunity to find yourself in front of him, consider yourself blessed because he's one of those people that makes me look at humanity and go, okay, we're going to be okay. It's going to be weird, but we're going to be okay.
How many characters do you think have been brought to life at this point now with that microphone that he gave you?
Or that one?
Yeah.
Quite a few. I think I did all of Ghostbusters on that mic.
Oh, wow.
I've done a lot of music on that mic. There's a lot. That mic has seen some things.
Some
It's seen
things,
some
some stuff.
terrible auditions. You know what I mean? For sure. Oh, by the way, what a weird credit for me to list, by the way, is like I did all of Ghostbusters on that mic. As if there's like one person in the studio and I said, Claudia's like, I knew he did that.
There's only going to be a
So
select few
dumb.
people that
There's
know.
going to be like a 45-minute YouTube
Yeah.
react video of just like that line.
Just
Like I
that
said,
is-
like most people have interacted with your work in some way, like in our camp. So
Yeah, but not that one specifically. You know what I mean? I'll never forget. I got the opportunity to meet Dan Aykroyd a few years ago, and I was like, man, we're getting a picture, and I said, we've actually kind of worked together. I said, the game that you did, because he was very involved in the production of that game.
Uh-huh.
He was.
He was spearheading it, and I said, for your Ghostbusters game, I was your Slimer, and he goes, well, we'll be looking forward to that. And took a picture of it.
dang.
Oh my
So
God.
you see the look on my face, just be going.
Man.
But no, like this is the thing is that for anybody who wants to get involved in this, it's not about the mic. You know what I mean? It's there's been a lot of stuff a lot of work that I did. I paid my rent off of that $79 microphone from Guitar Center. If nothing else, COVID taught us there were network shows that were being done with, a Yeti or a snowball mic and someone just holding a blanket over it. There's that famous Nick Kroll thing where he's like, I did all my stuff, like this. Now, that is not to say that there were not a lot of mixers that were like, I don't know, I hate my life. Because they were having
Fix it
to
in
figure out how to
post.
make all that terrible audio work.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think a lot of people, my point is this, I think a lot of people get so hung up on the technical. Well, I don't have that piece of gear. Well, I don't live there. I don't have those opportunities. And it's like, it's not about that. At the end of the day, it's about, is it a good story? That first of all, you can have the best performance in the world, but if the story's not good, nobody cares.
Right.
Yep.
And if the story is good, the character is good, and you are giving your all, trust in the process. It's going to eventually get you there.
Speaking about good writing and good characters, we cannot have you on without talking about The Last of Us, of course. You originated the role of Joel in the game. And then, of course, you played a more villainous, cannibalistic character of James in the HBO show. So what has it meant to you to kind of watch Joel's story reach so many people with the TV adaptation? And what has it meant to you to continue to be a part of the project?
That's a lot. Let me see if I can take those piece by piece. First of all, people are going to get ready. This is what we're going to clip out, and people are going to put on TikTok and talk about me.
I wish someone would do that about me.
Someday.
Just give us long enough.
I say that I have never played a villain. Not once. Not once in my career have I ever played a villain. And villains are easy. Heroes are hard. And also, at one point, if I start playing villains, you might as well just slap a mustache on them and call it a day. For me, I want you to be able to go, ooh, I kind of see his point.
Yeah.
Ooh, I kind of see where they're coming from. Oh no, what does that mean about me? And I think that, they can be heroes of a cautionary tale. But if I start saying that I'm a villain, I was like, well, okay, we know that you eventually, if I come riding in with a black hat, you know where the story is going.
Mm-hmm.
But if I can make you believe it's like, you were my friend, now you're betrayed. Now there's some dynamism to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I look at James and I go, that guy cared about the people that he was put in charge of and was covetous of his relationship between David. He wanted to be number one. And this girl was coming in and was subsuming that position. So therefore she had to go. But the whole thing about cannibals, I mean, there's a scene that got cut, and being the nature of the show, just so that's how it happens. But it was one of my biggest scenes. That was one of the first faces that you saw. And the way that the episode originally opened was that you saw these fresh-faced group of people with bright eyes and hope approaching this beautiful, idyllic place called Silver Lake. And we're like, guys, we've made it. We're going to be okay. And then you see what they're looking at, and it just smash cuts to that same space, that same shot and frame 6 months later. So we find them in spring originally, and then we see them in the winter. Mm-hmm. And these people are gaunt and dying and starving. And to me, one of the most beautiful messages about that is like, we're all about 6 months away from being the worst versions of ourselves.
Wow.
So it's not like these people were villains. These people were desperate. And I know I would probably turn into, and this is what The Last of Us has taught me, is like, I would turn into the worst version of myself if anything ever happened to my son. There would be no stopping me. There's just something about it being your own kid. You would do anything to protect it. That's why when somebody asks, do you think Joel did the right thing? I'm like, absolutely. As a father, absolutely. If you ask me as a citizen of humanity, he's the villain. He's the worst person to ever happen in the history of humanity. But as a father, I'm like, yep, that's the kind of father I hope I can be. Yep. Can I storm an entire hospital and just obliterate anybody that stands in the way of me saving my daughter or my son? So that's the first part, James. To see what this thing has become to everybody, and to see how this has transcended just one medium and now has been presented in multiple, because you have not only this huge hundreds of millions of dollars adaptation of this. That's at the helm of it is not only Neil Druckmann, the original creator, but now also Craig Mazin, who's an amazing showrunner and writer and director in his own right, plus all of the incredibly skilled and talented people that they have working on that cast and crew, to Pedro Pascal, which is arguably one of the best actors that we have of our generation working right now, to Bella Ramsey, who is crushing that role.
Yeah. Yep.
But then you also have all the cosplayers that I get to see like on the weekend when I'm like in between dinners with Chris Sabat. And these people come up and they tell me, one of my favorite stories, somebody came up to me in Orlando, and it's a father and a daughter cosplaying as Joel and Ellie. And the dad looks at me and I'm like, you guys look great. And all of a sudden I realize they're about to cry. I'm like, oh. And I said, tell me something about yourself. And the daughter starts crying. The dad looked and he said, we started playing The Last of Us when she got diagnosed.
Oh my gosh.
And we spent every chemotherapy session playing The Last of Us because we told ourselves, if they can get through that, we can get through this. So, I mean,
chills, bro.
Yeah.
Chills, man. And so I look at it and go, when they first pitched the story to me, there was none of that. We didn't know that was going to be what we were in. There's no way we could have, predicted that's what was in store. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's amazing to have this incredible show. Mm-hmm. And the new audience that's been brought in because of that. And the people that continuously come up and go, I just played The Last of Us Part 1 for the first time. I'm like, man, we did that over a decade ago. Mm-hmm. The story is perpetual and it continues to find a new audience. But man, it's those stories. It's the people that I see that Ellie gave them the strength to realize who they were as a person. Yeah. Or the father that realized the version of himself that he always wanted to be but was too afraid. Or the healing that can happen between a father and a daughter, or a father and a son. So man, to me, it's like, I think it is one of the greatest games ever made, even beyond the story and the characters, but because of the impact that it's had.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, I totally
100% agree.
Like, there's a couple of games that I've played, that over my lifetime that it just made me like overly emotional. And The Last of Us, like that first like hour and a half, 2 hours, I cried so hard. I had to put the controller down. I was like, I have to go do something else. I'm going to go and leave my house and I'm going to go get dinner because I am completely gutted right now.
Yeah, completely.
And I don't know if I can finish this game.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, because you get to the end and I had so many like my friends that were playing at the same time and they're like, oh, he made the wrong decision. I was like, no, he didn't. Like that was the perfect decision.
It's a really interesting conversation. Like,
Are you a dad?
I'm.
He's a new dad.
Yeah, I'm
He's
a
a
new
new
dad.
brand
I
new
was thinking
dad.
of a way to say it to a baby girl.
Yeah.
And I mean, I first played The Last of Us the year it came out on PS3, which I was as a teenager. I think I have to replay it now and like recontextualize it, because there are moments that are so beautiful and tragic, but also hopeful in a personal way. So I don't know, your conversation about the feelings with your son and just talking about it, like I've got to revisit it now.
I do want to go back to something that you said about kind of how you've played no villains, right?
Yeah.
So when you're coming in like blind to a script, there has to be some level of unraveling that puzzle and getting into that headspace of finding a way to make this person and their actions relatable. So what was that like with some of the villains that you've played? Like that sort of like unraveling and humanizing of these characters that most people would just, cross off as a villain.
I think part of that comes from working very hard to never come in blind to a script. That's important. I frustrate the hell out of my agents because they're like right now, especially after COVID, it was like, oh, we don't actually have to have actors come in. They can film it on their phone. So they're like, well, we can just see, first of all, we open ourselves up to a much wider pool. We can see people from all over the country or all over the world. And we can get a sense of who they are as a person. That's not what I do. Like, I don't sell the end result. I sell the process by which together we will get there. And I stole that phrase from my buddy Austin Wintory, an amazing composer. And it's so true. So if there's ever an opportunity where there's a show or there's a game or a movie or something that's casting, my first question is, can we set up a meeting? And with my on-camera agents, and they're like, well, they're just asking for people to put themselves on tape. I was like, I don't care what everybody else is doing. I did not get this far by going, what are the rules? And what am I supposed to do? Sometimes to my detriment. A lot of times that was like, a lot of people said, hey, don't ever do that again. But for me, it's always been, well, this just makes more sense. And I'm not here to show you that I can act. Nobody cares if you can act. Nobody cares if you can act. Nobody cares if you can do the single Denzel tear. Nobody cares. What they do care about is, number one, did the character just walk into the room?
Right.
Number two, as a director, I can say this. I don't care. Somebody shows up. We did a whole casting session. Follow me on this one, kids. We did a whole casting call, and the guy that was originally running camera would just kind of like wait until I was done and, talking, welcoming them into the room. Do they have any questions, anything else? I was like, let's see what you got. He goes, go ahead and slate for me. I'm like, you haven't been rolling this entire time? They audition when they walk in the room. Did they come in? I had one guy that came in for a role, set his backpack down on the table, and I was like, hey man, this is your time. Whatever you're doing is clearly working. I want to just throw a couple things your way, but first give you the opportunity. Do you have any questions? Like, we sent this to you blind. Do you have any questions for us? He goes, no, not really. I went, great. Let's see what you got. So I sat down. He had his sides in his hands. What they tell you to do. We read through the script. And I said, there's this two-hander scene. Old guy, soldier, I swear that I'd never go back, kind of, guy who was now absconded into the woods, will never fight again. And now the new soldier comes and says, we need your help. That kind of scene. And I said, who is she to you? The girl you're talking to, who is she to you? He says, I don't know. I'm like, well, you start the scene with your gun raised and you're about to blow their head off. And then you go, what are you doing here? Why? Because it says to in the script, or because she has a relationship? He goes, I guess I hadn't thought about it. I was like, okay. She offers you a bottle of whiskey. Do you drink? Oh, no, never. No, I don't drink at all. I was like, interesting. So what do you do with that? You kind of grab the bottle and go, oh, look at this. Can't imagine you having whiskey here. I'm like, these are questions that you just didn't do the basic process of, as you said, breaking the script and trying to find a way to humanize this character that's now on the page. Mm-hmm. And he goes, give me a second. And he tried to make some adjustments and he came in, but he realized he blew it. And as he was leaving, he picked up his backpack. And I said, hey, man, it's a nice backpack. And he goes, yeah, they gave it to me at a discount. I said, I doubt that, man. And he goes, thanks for letting me come in. And he left. And I turned and I looked at the other the people in the room and I said, we just watched an Oscar-winning director blow an audition. And the guy had won an Oscar for Best Short as a director. But I think a lot of times people come in, and exactly what you're saying, they come in blind to the script because they've been so programmed to just come in and prove to people that they can act or just get the job. It's another in a string of auditions that I have. Wow. And what they forget is that there's a real person that we're trying to find. And I also want to see how you work. Did you come in not rehearsed, but prepared? Do you have questions? I want to see someone that has their script and their sides are all marked up. And when I walk in and I go, do you have any questions? They're like, oh my God, I have so many. I have so many questions. Like, it says here this, but who is she to me? Like, have we had a long history? Because I dropped my gun. I'm like, it's all of these things. Mm-hmm. So for actors out there, if they come in and like, this is the moment where I'm going to cry, I'm going to blow their mind. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody cares if you can act.
Yeah.
We just got a masterclass, you guys.
Right. Message.
I love that.
If y'all didn't pick up on that, rewind it a little bit. That was incredible.
Sitting
that was right. That was incredible. Where are we going? I don't know where we're going.
Honestly, just throw out the script. Yeah, can you just throw the script?
Throw it out. Just throw
bow
it out.
your heads. Everybody bow.
Right.
Texas youth pastors coming out. And
I love all the localized humor because it's like it's really hitting.
I play to my audience. Come on, y'all.
Yeah,
right.
Of course, I also want to talk about Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, released a couple months ago. You were fantastic in that. Just like an amazing performance, like truly amazing performance. And, you know, as fans, we can look forward to some of your other upcoming roles. Right now, we are attempting to patiently wait for Death Stranding 2.
On the beach. That's the subtitle. On the beach.
And of course, Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet.
Oh my God. It looks so good. I'm so excited.
And Judas. Judas is the
Oh,
Judas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is there absolutely anything that you can tell us right now, and other fans out there anxiously awaiting your next roles in these projects?
Well, sure. I could tell you everything.
And also, are you having a cameo in Last of Us 2? That's another one I need to know.
You just slip that one right in.
Yeah, I got to get my minutes.
I have a loose involvement in season 2. That's all that I can say right now, but you will not see me on screen.
Okay.
They've been super kind. You brought this up earlier. The other connection that I have is they did not have to put me in the show. And that was a kindness that was extended to me by both Craig and Neil. Not only just to honor not only myself, but also Ashley Johnson and even Laura Bailey. And
Incredible.
Yeah. Merle Dandridge, she fought for that role and won it again. Like she proved that nobody else can play Marlene. Jeffrey Pierce crushed it in his role as well. He got 2 episodes, lucky bastard. But they didn't have to do that. So they've been very kind and we got to do the podcast. This year has been, or 2024 was a remarkable year. It was one of the worst year on record for video games.
Yeah, for sure.
And so much of that was, you know, everyone's like pointing fingers for the blame. And the reality is that we were already in an interesting situation. And then all of a sudden, we all got locked up inside and we had nothing to do but watch Netflix and play our consoles. And so every video game company went, we're going to run out of stuff. We need to make more stuff. So they all went out and they all scaled up and they started going into production. If you had an idea, you're greenlit. Netflix said the same thing. It's like, you got an idea, you're greenlit. We're going to go into production. As soon as we figure out how we can all work with masks on, we're going to start filming. We're going to start shooting. We're going to go into development. And then, thankfully, we all got to go outside, and people started realizing they could go on hikes, and they stopped playing as much. If you watch, player engagement just went down. Because whereas we're playing Animal Crossing and Among Us and Fall Guys and Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima and all of these things, then it was like Death Stranding, 250 hours in Death Stranding.
Oh my God.
Like now we miss being able to see our friends and go places. We didn't travel for 2 years. Let's go somewhere. So the industry was reeling from that. So I'm excited to see the games that come out in 2025, because those games have persevered and have overcome truly insurmountable odds. And there has never been, I hate saying this term now because it's so overused, but unprecedented obstacles were in their path. And they've been able to overcome that. Ken Levine benefited from the fact that he had just been plugging away at this game for the last 10 years. I've never worked on a game this long. And I've never seen a game iterate and change and evolve and grow. And it's something that Ken Levine is one of my ride or dies. I love that man. And I respect him gratefully. Good. He has done so much for me. And that friendship that I have with him, I covet that because it means so much to me. I cannot wait for people to play this game. I asked him once, I was like, do you think this is your magnum opus? And he said, it better be. Why else
wow.
Imagine making BioShock.
Right.
And then being like, I'm not, that isn't my magnum opus.
I love BioShock so much. And just the the way that we saw Judas change from the first couple times we saw it, like you can tell that he's been just just tweaking away.
I can say right now that I've been doing sessions with the actor. I'll let Ken announce, but I've been doing sessions with the actor and being able to talk to them also offline and build that relationship up. The actor that's playing Judas, I don't know if I've ever seen someone as devoted, committed, passionate, talented, skilled as they are. I'm truly, truly blown away by her talent and her commitment to it. She is completely eat up with this project, with the medium. She's going to blow you away. And it shows in her performance as well. So there's that. Then we also have Death Stranding 2. And the funny thing is, I continually learn things about Death Stranding from Hideo after we've wrapped.
We need to hear about it.
It's insane. He's like, by the way, did I tell you this? I'm like, no. But so much of that is that's the way he works, and it works for him. And there's two, I think, Hideos that people see. There's the big paragon of the industry, cult of personality that is Hideo Kojima, and then there's just Hideo. And my favorite moments with Hideo are the dinners that we get, where it's just us talking about how he started and what he wants to do, what he's passionate about, what he's afraid of. It's those things those are my favorite moments. On set, it's just kind of like blinders on. It's weird. Let's go. Just shoot it. But he really gave me. I'm proud of the work that we all did in Death Stranding 2. What other ones did you mention? I can't keep track of them all. Bottom line is I'm really excited for the games that are coming out in 25, because if you shipped a game in 24 or 25, that alone, you were deserving of an award, because it was the hardest thing to do. Hardest thing to do. So kudos to you.
Incredible.
Wow. Well, guys, we are desperately out of time. Unfortunately.
We talked so much about anime, right?
Right. No, this was what a way to
we covered a lot of bases.
We covered a lot of ground.
We're going to have to talk about anime on the next episode when we get you back sometime.
Listen, you guys have been so incredibly patient. And if you can't tell, I love what I do. I genuinely love what I do. And I love talking about it. Fortunately, I've got some stuff lined up that we also have the opportunity to talk about as well. So whenever there's a seat at that table, I would love to come back and continue the conversation.
There's an open chair. What do you mean?
You are a friend of the show. Yes. You are invited back anytime.
You can come to the studio. We can grab some Whataburger.
Right. If you're in Dallas, we'll
do
Whataburger lunch.
You know how to bribe me.
We'll do and we'll do the shindig again. But seriously, Troy, thank you so much. This meant a hell of a lot to everybody at this table, behind the camera. We thoroughly enjoy your work.
We've spent hours
playing and watching and listening. But whenever you're ready, man, we're ready.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you.
For the part 2, yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you again so much.
My pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of The Anime Effect, brought to you by Crunchyroll and the folks over at Sony Music Entertainment. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
The Anime Effect is hosted by me, Nick Friedman, LeAlec Murray, and Leah President. We're executive produced by Jonathan Hirsch, Joanna Clay, and me. Our lead producer is Kyla Carnero, and our associate producer is Zoe Colkin. Vince Garza filmed and Pixelworks edited the video. Our head of production is Sammy Allison. Special thanks to Carla Solorzano, Tamika Balance-Kalasny, and Troy Baker.
And Troy Baker.
Boy, what the hell?
The man, the myth, the legend.
We'll be back next week with more anime.
Yeah, more stuff.
I never get to say that. And there's nothing you can
There's
do about it.
nothing you can do about it. Later days.
Bye.
Later days. Thank y'all.
Coming back from Vancouver, and from Vancouver airport, right? So I'm not on the California side. I'm in Vancouver. And he goes, what do you do, Mr. Baker? I was like, I'm an actor. He's like, okay, what were you doing here? I was like, I was here for the Fan Expo. And he goes, okay. He goes, grew up in Dallas? Because it says, from Dallas. I said, yes, sir. He goes, I just got one question for you, sir. I said, all right. He goes, you live in Los Angeles now? I said, yeah. He goes, I just got one question for you. He gets real serious. I'm like, dude, please don't detain me. He goes, Whataburger In-N-Out. And I said, sir, I'm offended by the question. Whataburger any day of the week and twice on Sunday. He goes, I just had to check, make sure you were really from Texas.
Yo,
just like you like it.
That's hilarious. I love it.
We got to take you out to dinner if you're...
Go on. You had questions about my career?